Hello, everybody. This is Scott Hohen and Frank Donato, and today we're going to talk about effective prospecting tools. And more importantly, I'm not going to tell you how to do things or show you or demonstrate how to do things. I'm going to tell you what you need to do. And then you can talk to your Hollywood title sales professional to determine how to do them. So you're going to get a lot of ideas today. We're going to send out the recording. We're going to send out the PowerPoint. So you can take notes, but know that we're going to send the information to you so you can take advantage of it. Let's start off with some introductions. Frank.
Yes, hi, this is Frank Donato of Hollywood Title here in the Antelope Valley and the greater North LA County. We've started this company about a year ago, and we're really moving ahead with some great tools and technology that is just outside the box. Introducing my customer service person, Patrick Harrington. Patrick's been a customer service guru for about 25 years plus. His phone number for him locally is 661-218-4898. And Patrick is very diversified in finding you just about anything you want. He's so well groomed. He's like a junior title officer. So don't be afraid to give him a call or give myself a call.
Yep. And then I'm with Frank. I've known Frank for 25 years, it seems like. We've been at a variety of different title companies working through the technology issues. One of the things that you can count on with Frank is he's one of the first to bring you these new ideas, new concepts. He's not shy of technology, and he puts it to use. So take advantage of Frank as we go through these ideas and systems. You're going to say, gosh, Frank, how do I do this? Reach out to him. I can't stress that enough. My normal blurb, we're going to give you out advice that is SB 133 compliant from our end. I'm not going to go beyond those lines and make sure that we comply with everything we're supposed to. So today's session is going to concentrate on HollywoodTitleToolbox.com. If you don't have an account, reach out to Frank to get one. But we're going to talk about the new and improved property profile that's out there. We'll talk about the value of recorded documents and how to get recorded documents on the property that you're searching. We'll then jump into the importance of property tax, not just the assessed value, but the other components of the property taxes that Frank will go into detail with. And then we're going to cover a lot of farming ideas. Some of them some of you may not know, but we're going to go through a lot of ideas on farming using this tool. And then we also have a lead sheet that lets you take advantage of life-changing events that might be the next listing in your particular area. We'll jump into NetSheets now, which is our closing cost calculator. But more importantly, netsheet.com is a tool that you can put on your own website or have as a standalone website that is consumer facing, that lets consumers generate their own closing cost quote. I'm thinking about selling a house. How much am I going to net? I'm thinking about buying a house. What's my monthly payment? What's my down payment? Anyway, consumers can do it. And we're going to get into that and how you can put that on your website. We've got some great economic analysis tools that we'll go into. And then throughout the whole presentation, we're going to go through a lot of refer and recommend things and systems and websites that you should take advantage of as we go through this. I want to first start off with a couple of stats. 44% of the consumers start their search for homes or aid on the internet. That's nothing new, so it's approaching 50% now. It's probably more than that now with COVID. 67% of the consumers will select the first agent they even connect with. That's important. So speed to lead is important. Response is important. If you can get in front of a consumer first, you have a 67% chance of getting that transaction. 87% of the agents would use, 87% of consumers, would use the same agent again, but only 15% do. So important to work referrals, so important to work those systems, and we'll talk about that. And the last thing I want to talk about is 33% of the listings come from signs in the yard. So when you get a listing, it's important to farm or work around that listing because that could be your next listing. So we'll talk about how you can do that. So first of all those stats and more come from the National Association of Realtors. They've put out this profile of home buyers and sellers for, 20 years. and you should take advantage of it. Frank, can get you the summary, and it's about a 100-page report if you want to see the detailed, but there are good stats in the summary and lets you start thinking about how you might respond or how you might reach out to consumers. So for example, one of the stats I saw yesterday when I was reading it again was the average age of a home buyer is 47 years of age right now. That's what it was as of that report. But when you look at that report, it even breaks it down to graphs and charts and the details, and I highly recommend you read that. It's a good book to read once a year. So we're going to talk about prospecting, and it comes in a variety of different forms. So, you're going to have your social involvement and activities, whether it be your summer barbecue or your event for your past clients. You're going to work your personal and professional contacts. You've got the open houses for sell by owners, expireds. All of these you're familiar with, and you know them and you work them and you think about them, but you need to work a niche, and you need to be thinking about prospecting, and prospecting with the tools available today is amazing. So we're going to spend some time on geographic farming as we go through this. So everybody knows a geographic farm is a specific area or neighborhood where you've chosen to target your marketing efforts, and your objective is to find what that farm is, and your Hollywood title professional is there. So Frank can help you determine what the best areas are. What's the best neighborhood? What's the appropriate size so you can manage it effectively, not only in reaching out to the people, but manage it from a point of view of costs. So Frank will consult with you and look at what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to do. You're going to probably reach out to Frank after this presentation and after some of these ideas, and you say, hey, Frank, I'm interested in that one key component. What can I do? Where can I go to do that? Frank, you may want to talk about turnover rate real quick.
Yes. Thank you, Scott. One of the most important things when you're farming today is, where do you start your farm? Do you want to work a neighborhood? It's only got a 1% turnover rate. That means in the last 2 years, out of 100 homes, only one home sold. You want to get up to the 10% bracket. So that means in the last 2 years, you had 10 to plus homes sell, and that's where I can help determine what is best for you regarding the farming area. So every farming area, every farm area is different depending on where you're looking to farm, whether it's here in the east side, west side, or even south down in the Santa Cruz Valley and San Fernando Valley. Each one of them have specific details, and I can help you with that.
Perfect. I've got one bullet here. Consistency is the key. You need to pick a farm, you need to work the farm, and you need to consistently work that farm. So important. I mean, our customer service demand, our farming requests go sky high January, February, because everybody knows that they have to create their goals. Everybody creates a plan, but then they don't consistently play that plan out the rest of the year. I've got an example here, and this is a perfect example where you can use Frank's skills to determine what the best farm area is. I've got 3 columns: farm area 1, farm area 2, farm area 3. 150 homes, 200 homes, 250 homes. But then all these stats, you have to ask yourself, what's your estimated cost to do a farming or these campaigns? Do you mail out once a month? Do you mail out twice a month? Do you mail out once a month and then do something else on social to boost a post? But come up with your average sale prices and your average commission. But Frank can literally drill down and analyze what a turnover rate is within a particular farm area. And then you can determine, based on the number of listings, what farm you may want to go after. So, gosh, maybe I want to go after a bigger farm, but I only got 7 listings here. The smaller farm spends less money to get to, and I've got 13 listings. So use Frank's skills and resources to go over those kind of farm analysis. But the most important thing I got to tell you is write some of the notes down as we go through this. You got to create a plan and then work your plan, and you got to consistently work that plan. I even created a spreadsheet, and Frank can give you the spreadsheet. The first column here in this spreadsheet are the numbers you should know. It's how much do you want to make? What's your average sale price in your particular market area? What's your average commission? What's your split? How hard do you want to work? How much vacation do you want to take? But more importantly, these numbers are key. How many calls do I have to make to have one interested contact? How many mail outs can I mail to get one interested contact? You probably know that by past experience. Mailing's got less success than if you were to personally contact people. But then once you have your contacts, how many contacts, in this case 10, result in one appointment? And then 3 appointments generate one listing. And then 2 listings generate one sold. You know these statistics. You should think about the statistics, and then you should think about what your budget is. The whole purpose of the spreadsheet, it will tell you how many calls you need to make literally per day, or how many mail outs you need to do per day. How many people do you need to reach per day to hit your plan, hit your objective? And this is just working on calls and mail outs, but it gives you a good idea. So think hard at what your statistics are and what you do when it comes to farming. So Frank, chime in anytime as we go through these, but one farm that you have to go after obviously is owner occupied. Of all the homes out there, you want to make sure you do a mailing to the person that gets the tax bill at the mailing address to their property address. So you go after owner occupied, and you can segregate a farm just to go after owners. But maybe you want to go after non-owner occupied. Maybe you want to mail it to the mailing address, which could be out of the area, out of the state. Right now, people that have multiple properties, with the COVID situation and the mortgage forbearance, maybe if they have multiple properties, maybe they're interested in selling one. I've got some friends that have got some Airbnb properties that they're thinking about selling now because they can't carry their debt on that particular property. Think of out of state. I think, Frank, you got some examples on out of state.
Yeah. So out of state it's a very good example. Out of state people that have moved to different parts of the country and have rental property in your sphere of influence, that because of what's going on, they no longer want to manage those properties anymore, and there's a good opportunity for listings in your sphere of influence. Going back also to the owner occupied, what Scott has brought up is I have tools that I can pull properties by that have $100,000+ equity minimum in those neighborhoods. So would you rather work with somebody who bought a house and it just closed escrow 6-8 months ago, or would you like to work with somebody who bought a home in 2010, 2011 that could have $100,000 to $200,000 worth of equity? And this is where I come in and ask you questions, make sure I get you the most efficient farm for your area.
Yeah, and to the out-of-state area, I mean, think about this. They own the property, they live out of state. Well, they don't know who the professional realtor is in your area. They don't see signs in the yard. You need to at least put them on an every 2-month mailing. Send a letter out introducing yourself. Send a letter out with a picture of the property. Send a letter out with what's going on in the economic situation in the neighborhood. Send them a letter out, about the news in the neighborhood. You have ways to touch them, and they'll save those correspondences. I was in that situation, and when it comes time to sell a particular property, they're going to look to you because you're the professional real estate agent that's giving them the information. It may not pay off immediately, but long term, over a period of time, it will pay off. So take advantage of that. Non-owner situs address. The reason why I say non-owner situs address is, don't forget, if you mail something to dear occupant or dear renter, however you want to address it, but mail it to the address that you know is a renter, then go after them in this marketplace. I mean, interest rates are an all-time low. Right now, the first-time home buyer is 33% of the market. So go after them when you can.
Can I jump in on that?
Absolutely.
Some of you agents refer it to as absentee owners. So, that's the same thing. So what Scott's talking about as well.
I put down Every Door Direct as a tool, and many people don't know or aren't aware of what Every Door Direct is. I've got a slide coming up in the presentation. I think it's at edd.usps.com. It's a great website to go to by the U.S. Post Office. And Every Door Direct lets you hit every door in a community for far less money than a first class or bulk rate stamp. So if you want to hit every house, you may want to determine, go after the 300 houses rather than the 150 because it's actually going to save you money and you're going to get your name and information out there. Don't forget about your standard radius or polygon farms. You should be using the just listed, just solds. I'm not getting very many anymore because everybody is trying to do it on social or everybody's trying to do it on email. Think about doing your just listed, just sold traditional marketing. It's going to stand out because not that many people are doing it anymore. It's going to be unique. I put down here nearby neighbors. When you get that listing and you do your just listed sold, you make sure that you invite the nearby neighbors to the open house. It may be a by appointment only open house, or it may be an open house you can virtually send them, but they're the next listing. So invite them to the open house. And Frank can help you with those nearby neighbors around that particular listing to mail to. And he can drill it down to maybe I only want to do it the owner occupied. Maybe I only want to do it to the people that have the equity position. Do your farm by track or type. Maybe it's you're going after vacant land. Maybe you're going after condos. Maybe you're going after townhomes. You can be real specific in terms of the type of the properties you're going after as well. Think about those people that are in two-story homes. And your area, your farm area. They're going to downsize at some point in time. They're going to want to get a single-story home probably. So it's easy for you to go on, or Frank, or even Patrick with customer service to go on and determine what those farm areas are that you can work. Think about the property type in terms of buyers. You've got a buyer looking for a particular property. So ask customer service or Frank for that particular property type. They're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 to 2,500 square foot home built in this time period. Well, great. We can give you all the homes that meet your buyer's criteria. Then door knock, mail stuff, and tell people that you've got a buyer looking to buy that particular property. You may want to take what Frank was talking to you about further. Owner occupied, but maybe they've been in their house for 20 or 25 years, and eventually they're going to downsize. Maybe they have that huge equity position to take advantage of. This is the one website that I wanted you to know, eddm.usps.com. It's a commonly overlooked website. You can look by map and find out what the carrier route is for the postman that drives around the neighborhood and how many people are in that one carrier route that will hit. And it will tell you what the approximate cost is to hit every house in that carrier route. So take advantage of that as well. Don't forget about taking care of your past clients. Too many times, everybody's on to the next listing, everybody's on to the next prospect, but don't forget to work your past clients. So send them newsletters, contact Frank. Frank's got an excellent tool regarding Altos reports. You want to chime in on that, Frank?
Yes. This is probably the best marketing tool for listing, discussing with a seller, and also working with a buyer. This report gives you now time information within the last 7 days of what the market has done in that neighborhood, the actual per square foot, and how many properties have sold within that geographic area that you're working. So call me, and I'm happy to, in fact, just email me the zip code area you're working at, and I'll be happy to get it to you immediately, a copy of that report.
I put down here homeactions.net. Homeactions.net is an excellent electronic newsletter. You can get it in print format too, but it's great on electronic because it's specifically targeted to the community, and they have links about home valuation. You want to know what the home valuation is? All those leads will come directly to you. So check out homeactions.net as a tool. Everybody should be working their past clients regarding the social side of things, Facebook, Instagram. You can work with your title professional, but you can upload your past clients into Facebook and put them in a group, and then make sure you work them on Facebook so they see you all the time. Out of sight, out of mind. They're going to think about another agent down the road. You don't want them to do that. You want to stay connected to your past clients. I also want to give you another tip or tool, infousa.com. Infousa.com is a great database service. You can find anything there about people, companies. I put down here specifically renters. A lot of people ask, where can I get renters? We can tell you what the apartment building is, but we can't tell you the 100 occupants in that apartment building. But you can go to Info USA to find out who those 100 people are. And if 33% of the market is first-time home buyer, maybe you want to go after renters specifically. They can give you the name, address, phone number, email address, something to think about. And it could be very cost-effective for you. Go after attorneys. Frank's had several probate webinars in terms of a special niche that you can go after. Go after real estate attorneys, develop those relationships, financial planners, CPAs. I'm going to give you one example on a human resource person. I got connected to this one human resource individual, and they worked at Kaiser. And it's amazing. Kaiser doctors move around all the time, and they relocate all the time. And they don't know what real estate agent to choose. So the HR professional tells these Kaiser doctors which person to use when they're relocating into an area, in and out of a given area. So connect with the large businesses in your area, the HR person, because maybe you can do something, a special program, home buyer seminar, home seller seminar, work with your HR community professionals. You hear about national days all the time. I know this is like, I put down National Dentist Day. I think it was just National Donut Day not too long ago. It's National Doctor Day. Well, there is a book that you can go get called Chase's Calendar of Events. I use it every year, Chase's Calendar of Events. It'll tell you every national whatever day that you can market with, or you can have an idea. I mean, if you know it's National Dentist Day, why don't you go around to all the dentists in your market area and let them know that you're the real estate professional and drop off something? Drop off something, cookie or something that might get their attention, and say thank you for being the National Dentist Day. Connect with local businesses. I have a little graphic here called Smart Guy. Frank and I are associated with a gentleman that runs this company, smartguy.com. And Smart Guy allows you to get better connected with the businesses in your area and team up with local professionals. Go get a relationship with your dry cleaners, because you can refer people to the dry cleaner, and then the dry cleaner can refer people to you as they hear about people coming or going. Buyer letters, I've told you about this before, but when Frank gives you the specific farm that you're looking for, because my buyer is looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 21 to 2,600 square foot home, he can give you that farm. And then when you do a mail merge letter or a handwritten letter, you can literally say, my records show you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,150 square foot home that you bought on X date. I have a buyer very interested in your type of property, would love to connect with you, and then you can call them later. It's a great way to work it. You can also figure out, gosh, maybe do I want to do a window envelope with a mail merge? Maybe I want to do a handwritten letter. Test it, with this buyer and that buyer. Do an A/B test. Do some with handwritten and do some with a mail merge letter and a window envelope. But make sure you send it out first class, and you're going to get some results. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, let me interject here. When it comes to envelopes and letter campaigns, please contact me. I've found the resource that has the least expensive way to do this, and just contact me directly when you're going that direction. There is a lot of statistics that state that a person 85% of the people will open up the envelope versus looking at a postcard. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, very effective. Don't be afraid of investing a little bit of money to get connected to those people, because now you truly have a buyer, right? So you're not too much worried about the do not call issue. You can go knock on the door. You can leave something at the door. You're doing it to work with the buyer. You can get even more commitment from the buyer to work with you in terms of a buyer's agreement. So use that tool. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. It all starts with your website. So I recommend every real estate agent frequently Google themselves. Google them to see what consumers are going to see about that particular real estate agent. Are you found? If you're found, what do your reviews and your testimonials say? What does your email address even say? If I'm using scott@gmail.com versus scott@scott.com, maybe it's a little more professional. Frank has frank@never-quit.com, and that's his website, never-quit.com. It tells a lot about you, so maybe scott@kw.com for Keller Williams is better than scott@yahoo.com. You've got more security and you've got a better statement going out to the consumer. So search yourself. Search as if you were a consumer. Search for the city, for the neighborhood. Look to see what you're found or who's being found. Maybe you're going to find the competition. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're going to find an opportunity to promote yourself on the search engines. And it's not that difficult to do. And I'm going to go through a couple of ideas with you. But make sure that your website has got the proper description, proper keywords in the source code. Frank can kind of point you in that direction to how to do that. Make sure your website's got a Facebook pixel on it to make sure you measure your social media performance. And then we've got a tool that you should take advantage on your website called NetSheet, netsheet.com. You can actually put a widget on a website for your consumer to click on if they're thinking about buying or selling, so they can generate their own estimate. This happens to be a real estate professional in the Keller Williams system in the Palos Verdes office. They have this widget here in the very bottom right corner, buying or selling. And if someone clicks on that, if a consumer were to click on that, it would open up and it would allow them to either do a seller net sheet or buyer estimate. So the consumer can click through this to generate their own closing cost calculation. But when the consumer does this, it ends up becoming a lead for the real estate professional. You can also market it as a separate website or separate page within your website. So not only does she have the widget, but she has a seller net sheet here. And when you click on seller net sheet, you get to a landing page with a little information about herself and directing consumers to fill out the form. If they fill out the form, print it, email it, give you their contact information, it becomes a lead. There is no cost associated with this. We want to make sure that we give you our title costs associated with the transaction. The consumer wins, they get what they want quickly. The agent wins in terms of getting a lead or somebody on their website to follow up with. And we win with having the advertising on the net sheet with Hollywood Title. So take advantage of that. Reach out to Frank. Google profile. Here's a perfect example. Keller Williams Antelope Valley has done a good job. When I search for them, Keller Williams Antelope Valley, #1, obviously, but because they went out and registered themselves with profiles.google.com, they come up here on the right-hand side, the right-hand panel. Used to be a lot of advertisements with Google. They got rid of the advertisements and they put the ads in column because of all the mobile searches that are done. You can't see an advertisement on the right-hand column anymore. So all the advertisements are in column at the top or at the bottom. But the point here is you want to make sure you get found. If you go into profiles.google.com and register yourself, you can be found there with your place of business, your photo, and any information you have you want to pass on to the consumer. Maybe you want to tell them that you're available 24/7. Maybe you want to make sure they click on all the reviews, and maybe you want to drive consumers to fill out a Google review because, again, consumers are out there looking for you. So take advantage of this feature. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. You just need to go out and do it. We've talked about Every Door Direct with eddm.usps. There are a lot of places that you can do direct mail campaigns with. Express Copy has always been great out of Portland, Oregon. Quantum Digital, I see them being used a lot for mailing. They've got good prices. CoreFact is out there with property-specific postcards. It's been popular, a little expensive on the high end, but they're available to you. And I put down this one, breakthroughbroker.com. There is no expense. You can go to Breakthrough Broker and find really good ideas, template ideas, marketing template ideas for postcards, flyers, and they even have a printing service. Now we're going to get into the Hollywood Title toolbox, the farm tool itself. So Frank's going to chime in here as we go through this, but all these items on the left-hand side are life-changing events. If someone dies, my guess is they may sell the house, or their heirs may want to sell the house. And you may want to know about that on death rather than going all the way to probate. So affidavit of death is one, probate is one. Bankruptcy, are people going to go through foreclosure? If there's a divorce, an eviction, all these things will lead to probably a real estate transaction. There's a cost associated with it, but when you look at a farm area, you're not going to find very many, and you're talking about a nickel and in some cases 50 cents. It's important for you to use. So Frank's found some good success with this one. This is an example of a lead sheet. So it says for 21 households within approximately 1.5 miles of this address, there were these life-changing events. So if you get this lead sheet, or if you do a property search for your listing and you get a lead sheet, you can literally go look at what they are right now and how much 6 are these 21 leads would cost you to work. Maybe you don't want to work foreclosure, but maybe you do want to work this end of the business. So take advantage of the lead sheet. Frank's had some good success with it. You may want to chime in, Frank.
Yes, it's a great tool, especially for farming, to see. It's almost a parallel with the turnover rates. So it gives you an idea of what is going on in that area and gives you the opportunity to zoom in on some of these situations, especially the affidavit of death. I mean, they're going to need an agent, and I'm happy to get you this information. Just go ahead and let me know if you're interested in it, and I'll email it to you right away.
Great. When you look at a specific property or look at a specific farm, I mean, it will tell you, I just did a quick little farm here and the turnover rate is 2.37. So maybe I don't want to work that one because they've only had 5 sales in the past year. But non-owner had but this farm area is almost 15% non-owners. So it gives you a statistical idea of what your farm is. And Frank's going to help you with that analysis when you guys go sit down and go through it. When you do the search on Hollywood Title Toolbox, or if this might give you some ideas when you talk to Patrick in customer service, or you can simply do it yourself, you can go through these different tabs when you're doing a farm search. So you pick the area that you want to go after. You then maybe pick the physical characteristics. So maybe I'm going after San Francisco, California, SFR, and condominium. Maybe I want to change, one of these. Maybe I want a certain lot size, certain year built. Maybe I want a current home, 10 years or newer. On the assessment and taxes, I mean, maybe I want to go after certain purchase dates like Frank talked about with owner occupied. Maybe I want to go look for people that have delinquent taxes. Maybe I want to go after people living in a certain tract. Maybe I want to go after the specific carrier route and download that information immediately so I can do my mail merge campaign and get that going. Custom filters, you can get a lot of, algebra type, situations here. I want all the ones that are, are on the, even or odd for walking farm purposes. You get quite into detail. I mean, open out-of-state owners like Frank talked about. Next seller, you'd be surprised, next seller, they do a little calculation on who they predict being the next seller based on how often that current neighborhood sells. They'll do a lot of the work for you automatically. You can even buy lender information. So if you're not a real estate professional and you're working the lender side, you can say, I want to look up all the Bank of America loans that are 4.5% or higher because now maybe I can refinance them. So if you were working with a mortgage professional, a partner, then maybe you guys can split the farm cost for the area you may want to work. Then you get into the lead situation where we have the life-changing events. You can be real specific, and you can be real specific. I only want 5. I only want 10. I only want to try it. And I recommend you do that. They even have a place where you can get phone numbers and emails Frank's got some other sources on how to get phone numbers and emails, not just from this tool, but from other tools. So take advantage of those when you have a chance with Frank. Property profiles. It's an important tool that many don't take advantage of. And a property profile composes of all these different things. In fact, property pros go back even 20 years now in history. So you can actually see what's going on in terms of the length of ownership at each one of those places. I want to talk to you about a couple of things with our new property profile, a couple of things for you to take advantage of. So the first thing is recorded documents. Too many times agents forget to go do the property profile and look at the recorded document, look at the ownership document, look at the grant deed. Who owns the property? So if you do your property profile on Hollywood Title Toolbox, you put the address in, you click on generate profile, you come up with a 20-page report. This happens to be page 3. Page 3 shows the property transfer, the most current property transfer with the document number. Great, click on that document number and go right to the document and go see who owns the particular property. So you now know who's you're going to have sign that listing agreement. It's Jose Felipe Garcia Gonzalez, maybe husband, wife. Just make sure you know before you go out in that listing presentation. Let's talk a little bit about detailed tax records. When you go to a property profile, we'll tell you what the assessed value is. We'll tell you what the property tax amount is for the first half and the second half. But when it comes to looking at the detail, this is where you need to research it when you go out on those presentations. Frank, you may want to chime in here.
Yeah, it's the best thing about this is that is the Mello-Roos and CFDs that we have here in the Antelope Valley. It's very, very important. You just can't get that off any online system. So you can call Patrick or myself, and we'll be happy to get you this this form. Within probably 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to be able to include this in our online profile systems that will give you that opportunity to get them 24/7. So that's being put together right now as we speak, and that will be a great tool. And I highly recommend that before you show property, you need to make sure that there is no Mello-Roos on the property, or you should disclose it to the buyer as soon as you take them out, because there's been issues with that with some of the real estate industry, that not disclosing that up front to the buyer. So this tool is available Monday through Friday from 8 till 5. So just email me or call us. We'll take care of you.
Yeah. Email us when it's top of mind, and then we'll get on it as soon as we can. Property tax in Los Angeles County. I mean, you know what your property tax rate is. This is just a blurb on what property tax is and what Proposition 13 is all about, from 1978. But the reason why I'm bringing it up, and the reason why Frank is talking about it, is when you do your closing cost calculations, when you do your net sheet, you want to make sure you put in an accurate estimate of what the property tax rate would be. So in this example that I pulled here for this particular property, when you do the math of what the property taxes is and then what the additional tax districts are, the effective tax rate is 1.28, but without it, it's 1.14. Everybody wants to know, what's my property taxes? Well, in this case, for this area, for this farm, you probably want to quote 1.3% for property taxes on the sales price to make sure you got a more accurate quote. A lot of times in the Palmdale, Lancaster area, they're using 1.2, but run a couple of properties to see what that effective tax rate is to make sure that you're quoting the right percentage. Then when it comes to comparable sales, take advantage of us for comparable sales. I know everyone goes to the MLS to look at the comps, but the MLS doesn't pick up the private transfers. They don't pick up the for sale by owners. So look at comparable sales to make sure you're not missing things. And then when it comes to, after you look at your comps, you're going to look at the next sellers or the nearby neighbors example. So the property profile will actually have this next sellers map there. These are the properties compared to this one particular property that I ran that are most likely to sell based on the same criteria or same characteristics. So those may be the key ones you want to follow up with right now as your next particular listing. Power of blogging, I can't stress it enough. Whether you write articles on your website, whether you have a separate website to do it, activerain.com is a great place to do a blog. It's a great place to learn about what's going on. It's meant for real estate professionals. I highly recommend you subscribe to Active Rain. There's no cost, and you can get good at posting and then getting found on Google because you post. I've posted so many times on title insurance. I get calls from everybody on questions about title insurance. But it's so easy to get a WordPress website. This is a Keller Williams agent in the Reno, Nevada market area. And it's a WordPress website. And he blogs constantly, June 3rd, May 26th. So it looks like once a week he's posting something. Well, guess what? Google picks that up. He gets found. He's the professional realtor in the area and could lead to a potential listing. So think about blogging. You've heard it time and time again with all the Zoom meetings going on. Video, video, video. Create your YouTube channel. Create the ability for your information to get out there. I always say be the mayor of your city. You're learning how to do virtual open houses. You're learning how to do video of yourself. You just need to talk to Frank a little bit about how you can better title or describe that video, how you can tag it, where you can put it on the systems that are out there. Obviously, you're going to put it on Facebook and Instagram and repurpose it with YouTube channel. But there are other tools out there too, like Loom or Soapbox by Wistia. They'll actually let you do a screen recording. So if you wanted to walk somebody through it, you're actually doing an internet search for somebody, you can do that. Don't forget about working your professional relationships. And I would hope that you're getting connected to your past clients via LinkedIn, because if you do, and you do it right, you can reach out to your past clients, seconds, and thirds. And what I mean by that is you want to reach out to your past clients' relationships, your past clients' friends. And you can do that even on Facebook in terms of how you can promote and advertise yourself. So the powers of second and third can be very beneficial for you to work referrals and ask for referral business. So Frank's got a good active Facebook and Instagram presence. Use his skills to get better connected to that platform. I'm going to talk about data. So there's one tool here called Address Report that we're going to get into, but there's lots of other good free data sources like greatschools.org if buyers are interested in what's going on with the school district. So go see what's going on with the school district and what does greatschools.org have to say. Bestplaces.net tell you a lot of things going on in the community, the demographics, the psychographics. Look it up. City Blast and Keeping Current Manners are good social tools to create content. So if you have a hard time creating content, reach out to them. But Address Report, addressreport.com, you can just go to the website, put in an address, and then it's going to come up with all this information, the financial information in the area, tax information, recent sales, transportation, schools, life, and from the Yelp system, crime, demographics, all that stuff's available to you. So be the mayor of your city, dominate the area. This information can even be good for you when it comes to generating blog content to get found, to be used. Then Frank's talked to you about the Altos report in terms of understanding this. It's a great tool, but you need to sit down with Frank to better understand how to use this tool that he can get for you. This happens to be the Lancaster market. So some of Frank's clients have been taking advantage of this. Frank, you may want to talk a little more about this.
Yes. I've been sending this out when you're getting new listings or even when you're going to escrow. It is a great tool. A lot of times people get cold feet. The seller thinks his house is worth 10, 20, 30,000 more. This is a good tool to show them what the pace our market's in. And, with what's going on today in, society, things have been going up and down regularly. So, but it is a very strong, in most cases, a very strong seller's market in the Antelope Valley. So this way you can keep your seller at true market listings instead of inflated market listings. And I'm happy, again, just send me your address, and we'll take it from there.
Great. Again, it's a tool that you can use for sure. Data providers that are out there, you may or may not be aware of, but there are basically three major data sources out there for real estate information. There's Black Knight, used to be called LPS, or Fidelity National Real Estate Solutions. There's CoreLogic, that used to be called First American Financial. There's First American Database. Once they sold CoreLogic, they created their own database system again, and they're using excuse me, data from Black Knight and CoreLogic. Hollywood Title Toolbox uses CoreLogic data. Oops, sorry. Our customer service group has access to both of them. So if you want First American data or you want CoreLogic data, we have the tools available to you. We subscribe to both systems to make sure that we give you the most accurate, best tool and best solution out there. This is something that you may want to look into. Now, this is a paid service where a lot of the ones I've talked to you about before are free. ePropertywatch.com is a site created by CoreLogic, and I recommend that you go in it and try it, sign up. The benefit of ePropertywatch is you can automatically send an important market statistic report to your past clients every 2 weeks, and it will tell them what's going on in the neighborhood, what's going on with pricing. CoreLogic's got a great AVM that they use, but if you sign up for ePropertywatch as a consumer, or, so a consumer could say, I'm not working with an agent, so they'll connect the consumer with an agent. If you want to let my agent know about ePropertywatch, they'll then reach out to you to subscribe to the system. So ePropertywatch is sponsored by Jick, and there's a phone number and an email address for you. I recommend you check it out. You can enroll up to 2,500 people to get these reports, and it's only $30 a month to put your past clients on an autopilot kind of newsletter. It's not what's the recipe of the month. It's what's going on in the market area. Are your prices going up? Your prices going down? What's going on with listings? What's going on with foreclosures? It's a good tool you should check out. And if you have a hard time staying in contact with your past clients, ePropertywatch is a good tool for you to take advantage of. So check that out. I highly recommend it. So technology is here for your success. Frank knows it, understands it, and can go over all these these components of it. A lot of times people will ask, what's the best CRM? Well, Frank's got some answers for that. There's another good tool out there called Property Radar. It used to be called Foreclosure Radar, and they've got a lot of good statistics. But the bottom line is pick a niche market. Work with Frank on picking that farm area that you want to go after. Maybe you want to go after for sale by owners and expireds. Redx has got a good place for that. Maybe you want to go after probate. Frank can get you connected to our probate expert, and you can learn more about that. With what's going on in the marketplace, is foreclosures or short sales going to be in abundance at some point in time down the road? Not sure, but pick a niche market and be successful at it. You for sure want to work your farm. You for sure want to work your internet presence, your social presence, your Google presence. You hear about these vendors, Boomtown, Firepoint, Sync, Real Geeks. All of these are high-end CRM tools that generate traffic to your website, and they spend a lot of money, $1,000, $2,000 a month in advertising to generate that, both on the social platform and on Google. But if you're looking for, and if you're a startup or a smaller agent, Mail-Right's got some good systems that, I think that starts out at $500, and they do a great system to generate leads to your Facebook page. Planet RE is a different way of doing searches and can get you found easier over the top agents in a particular area. Take advantage of the tools. Frank can kind of point you in the right direction. He knows how to use Instagram, knows how to use Facebook. Make sure you're working the testimonials to get the biggest bang for the buck. You're going to do videos. Bottom line here is track everything. You want to make sure that if you're spending money, you're tracking a return on investment. And more importantly, it's not just return on investment, but it's a return on your invested time. It takes time and effort to do these farming systems. Frank can save you a lot of that time. We can do it for you. We can teach you how to do it if you want to do it yourself. but we can make things happen for you and give you some ideas that you can focus on for your particular market area. I say don't be a statistic. Sales statistics, you probably have seen this graphic before. 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. 12% of salespeople make only 3 contacts and stop. You need to repetitively, consistently, and persistently reach out and talk to those clients. 80% of all sales are made on the 5th to the 12th contact. So we've got the tools, we've got the systems, we got the things that can make it happen for you. Let Frank help you with that technology. Frank, you want to close it out?
Yes. Well, first of all, I want to thank Scott, our COO of Hollywood Title, for helping Hollywood Title with this presentation, because this presentation has a lot of information. I would retain this and keep this and put it in a folder to go back and review, because you can look at that and then send me a text, email, or call me and say, Frank, I want this. What about this? Can you elaborate on some of this? We covered a lot of information. Scott did, nonstop. So your brain's probably very frustrated right now. But at the meantime, we have phenomenal service. Make sure you call Patrick. At the number is 661. The local number is 661-218-4898. And then, of course, Scott's always available too by email. And we got a lot of tools that are brand new and we've been working on for those last 3 months because of between this coronavirus. So we've had a little more time to put these things together for you to make you more successful as a real estate agent. And we do appreciate your business. Just give me a call if you need any help, or if you have somebody that's not convinced, I'm happy to talk to them as well.
Great. Thanks a lot, Frank. Again, reach out to Frank. He can get you username and passwords for all the systems we talked about. HollywoodTitleCompany.com is our website. HollywoodTitleToolbox.com is where you can get a username and password so we can set you up. He can show you how to do it, or we can just do it for you. NetSheetsNow.com is our closing cost calculator. NetSheet.com is that widget I talked to you about. No one has anything like that in the marketplace today. You really could make an impact as KW Antelope Valley and going after this. And then look for the future upcoming Zoom meetings we're going to be doing on real estate topics that you can be interested in. So thanks for everybody for attending, and have a great day.